Dear students, we have seen that we can find singular solutions using P and C discriminants of given differential equation. If the relations in P and C discriminant are solutions, then we call them as singular solutions. It may happen that such relations may not be solutions of given differential equations. Today we discuss such relations which are not solutions. The relations that may appear in the P and C discriminant which are not solutions. So we consider differential equation of the form f of x, y, p equal to 0. We call this as equation 1, and its general solution say phi of x, y, c equal to 0. C is arbitrary constant. First point, the P discriminant relation of differential equation 1 represents the locus of points for which the equation 1 has equal values of P. Means the equation 1, if we solve for P, there are repeated roots. That is repeated roots. If we solve equation 1 for p, then in such case we get repeated roots if the p discriminant relation is satisfied. Second point, the C discriminant. We know that we find C discriminant using the solution. For P discriminant, we use given differential equation, and for C discriminant, we use the solution. The C discriminant relation of the general solution 2 represents the locus of points for which equation 2 has equal values of C. Equal values of C. That means if the C discriminant relation is satisfied, then the equation 2 will have repeated roots when we solve for C. Third point, the envelope of general solution 2 is the locus of points of ultimate intersection of consecutive curves. Ultimate intersection of consecutive curve of consecutive curves in family 2. That means we consider family 2, and for different values of C we get different curves and they will have intersecting points. Okay, so if we consider consecutive curves and their intersection point, then such limit of such point will be envelope. Okay, we know that envelope is also a solution, but which is not obtained from general solution. At each point of envelope, we can have a solution curve which is tangent to the envelope. Now some remarks about envelope. First thing is, at each point on the envelope, there are two equal values of P. There are two equal values of P. Next point is, at each point of the envelope, the consecutive curves match. Means these points are ultimate intersections of consecutive curves. Means at each point of envelope, the consecutive curves will match. Therefore, there are two equal values of C also. Or repeated roots as a C. There are two equal values of C also. Okay, because for two consecutive curves, we will have different values of C. In the limit, these two values will match. So this means, therefore, the singular solution representing the envelope must appear in both the P and C discriminant relations. Now we discuss relations appearing in the P and C discriminant which are not solutions of differential equation 1. Relations appearing in P and C discriminant relations which are not solutions. First thing, is called tag locus. Equation of the tag locus. So let us see what happens at a point satisfying p discriminant relations. At a point satisfying the p discriminant relation, there are equal values of p. And we have two cases. First case is equal values of p correspond to consecutive curves in the system. Equal values of p correspond to consecutive curves in system 2. System 2 is general solution. And this gives envelope. So we have one curve and consecutive curve. These are points of intersections. Okay. And if we take limit like this, then these 2 points will be same. That means these 2 curves will match and we get these points as points in the p discriminant relation. That means these form envelope. Okay, this is first case. Second case, we can consider limit in another direction. Okay, here we consider limit in left direction. Now second case is equal values of p correspond to different curves in system 2. in the family of general solution too. So this can be explained using figure. We have this as our first curve and another curve is touching to this curve. Okay, both these curves are from family of general solutions too. Okay, so this is point of intersection. Okay, here we have repeated values of p. Okay, but these two are different curves, so c will be different for these two curves. So such points are in p discriminant relation but not in c discriminant relation. That means locus of such points will not form solution. Okay, these are equal values of p correspond to different curves in 2 which are touching each other. Okay, which are touching each other. Okay, in both the cases we will have repeated values of p. Okay, but in first case we have matching curves, in second case we have different curves. Okay, so if we call this point as a, then we have following comments. At point a, the two curves touch each other. Therefore they have equal values of p. Therefore the point capital A appears in the p discriminant. Since these curves are different, the values of c are different for these curves. Since these curves are different, the c values at a, at point a, are different. Means this point a cannot be in the c discriminant relation. That is, the point a cannot appear in the C discriminant. Okay, so if we have the points, the relations which are in P discriminant but not in C discriminant, then we can have such tag locus. Okay, the locus of such points A of contact of two points of contact of two. Now these curves are not consecutive. Okay, in second case, we have these two curves which are not consecutive. Okay, in first case these are consecutive curves. The locus of points of contact of two non-consecutive curves is called the tag locus of the system of curves 2. Remember that 2 is system 2 is general solution phi of xyc equal to 0. Okay, so we have to consider the part which appears in P discriminant but not in C discriminant. Okay, for tag locus we will see example. Before that we consider another locus, that is nodal locus. Before that, let us see what is meant by node and cusp. Okay, so recall. So this is a curve, and this point on this curve is called double point. And this thing is called as node. This is a node. This point is double point or nodal point. Another thing is cusp. If we have such thing, then this is called as cusp, and this point is called as cuspidal point. Okay, so let us see the second thing. So first we have seen equation of tag locus, where we considered the locus of points which appear in P discriminant but not in C discriminant. Okay, that means these points correspond to the points of contacts of two non-consecutive curves in the family of general solutions. Okay. Now we have equation of the nodal locus. So again we consider the same differential equation, one, that is f of x y p equal to 0, and its general solution given by 2, that is phi of x y c equal to 0. The general solution, first point, the general solution phi of x y c equal to 0 may represent a set of curves each of which has a double point. That is cusp. That is node. Okay, so in some cases we may have solution curves which have node. Okay, if we change value of c, then the position of node will change, but node will be there. Okay, so if we trace a curve of such nodal points, okay, so we trace curve which is formed using nodal points, then it is called as nodal locus. Okay, if we change the value of arbitrary constant c in the general solution 2, then the position of such node will change, but node will be there. The double points, the double point of each such curve traces another curve called the nodal locus. So locus, when we change value of c, we get new curve with different position of double point. Okay, so we have to consider all such positions of double points, and collection of such double points will be a locus of points, that means a curve, and this curve is called as the nodal locus. We see one figure. So let us consider the solution curve with a node. Okay, now this is for one value of c. If we change value of c, then we get another similar curve. Okay, and so on. Okay, so these are the nodal points. If we sketch a curve passing through all such nodal points, then it is called as nodal locus. Okay, so this L is nodal locus. Okay, and let us call these curves as gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma 3, and so on. Okay. Now note that if we consider two consecutive such curves, okay, that means if we take a limit in this direction, then these two curves match as well as the nodal points also match. Okay, so the nodal uh, points are ultimate points of intersections. That means these must appear in the C discriminant relations. Okay, so if we consider two solution curves which are very close to each other, then such nodal points will also be very close to each other. Okay, and in the limit these two curves match as well as the nodal points also match. That means the nodal points appear in the C discriminant relation. Okay, so we will have repeated values of C in the limit. In the limit, the nodes of consecutive curves coincide upon the nodal locus. Therefore, the points on nodal locus are ultimate points of intersections of consecutive curves. Ultimate points of intersection of consecutive curves. That means the points will have equal values of C. In other words, we can say that the equation of nodal locus must appear in the C discriminant relation. The equation of nodal locus must appear in the C discriminant relation. Now what about P discriminant relation? In general, they will not appear in P discriminant relation, and hence the nodal locus is not solution of given differential equation in general. Okay, so we explain using the figure. Okay, so why these cannot why these points not appear in P discriminant relation in general. Okay, so we consider the figure. Okay, we consider the same figure of nodal locus. Okay, say we have these consecutive curves with node, and nodal curve passes through all these double points. Okay, now at the points on this nodal locus, the value of P will be different for these two curves. These two curves means the curve formed using nodal points and the solution curves. Okay, so this is L, curve L, which is nodal locus, and these are say gamma 1, gamma 2, etc. Okay, so why the values of P are different? We know that P is dy by dx, and dy by dx means it is slope of tangent to the curve. Okay, now if we consider the tangent to solution curve, then it will be different than tangent to the curve L at the same point. Okay, so let us consider tangent to solution curve at this nodal point. Okay, there are two tangents. This is first tangent, and at the same point we have another tangent. Okay, so these are tangents to solution curves. Okay, blue lines are tangents to solution curve. Now at the same point, if we sketch tangent to this curve L, which is nodal locus, then we can see that it is different. Okay, so this is tangent to L. That means tangents at the same point are different. Tangent for solution curve is different than tangent for nodal locus. Okay, so the values, p values are different for these two curves. That means the nodal locus in this case cannot appear in the p discriminant relation. Okay, of course it will appear in the c discriminant relation. In general, the nodal locus will not satisfy the nodal locus will not appear in the p discriminant relation. And therefore nodal locus will not be a solution to given differential equation. Okay, therefore in such case the nodal locus is not solution of given differential equation 1. Okay, of course there are some exceptional cases where the nodal locus is solution also. Okay, in that case the p value at nodal point for these two curves will match. Okay, so it can be explained using another figure. So next point, consider the figure. Okay, again we have similar thing, that is we have double points. If we change c, the position will be position of such nodes change. Okay, now we sketch the curve passing through these nodal points. Okay, instead let me sketch the curve first. So situation is like this. Okay, these are black colored curves are general solutions containing double points, and the locus of double points form the nodal locus L. And these are solution curves with different values of C. Now we can see that here there is one tangent to the solution curve which is same as the tangent to nodal locus L. Okay, so here this tangent is same. Okay, so this tangent is to solution curve as well as the curve L, which is nodal locus at this point. Okay, so of course there is another tangent to solution curve, but at least one value match. Okay, so in this case the nodal locus is solution also. Okay. In this case, the nodal locus is solution. In fact, it is envelope. Okay. So it appears in C discriminant as well as P discriminant, and it form solution. It is it is envelope of general solution 2. Okay. Now there is third case, that is cuspidal locus. Before that, we discuss examples. So consider, so this example will have tach locus as well as nodal locus. Okay. Consider differential equation xp square minus x minus a square equal to 0. A is constant. Solution. So we can simplify this as p equal to, okay, so we add x minus a square on both sides and then divide by x and take square root, so that we get p equal to plus or minus x minus a divided by square root x, or it is plus or minus x raised to 1 by 2 minus a x raised to minus 1 by 2. But p is dy by dx. So we can simplify this. So we can take only one value, say plus or minus. Okay. So let us take plus value. So anyway, we are going to square in the final steps. So minus value will also be okay. For simplicity, we take simply plus sign. So what we have? We have p means dy by dx. Okay, so dy equal to x raised to 1 by 2 means square root x minus ax raised to minus 1 half dx, and this is easy to solve. Therefore, we can integrate and we get y equal to, so x raised to 1 by 2 integration is x raised to 1 half plus 1, that is x raised to 3 by 2 divided by 3 by 2 means 2 by 3 x raised to 3 by 2, then minus a is there and x raised to minus 1 by 2 plus 1, that is x raised to 1 half divided by 1 half means 2 times x raised to 1 half and constant of integration c. Okay. Therefore, we can have y minus c equal to, here we take square root x common. So in bracket we have 2 by 3. Now This is x raised to 3 by 2, which is x into square root x. So this is x minus 2a. Okay. Now we take 2 by 3 common and multiply by 3 so that we get 3 into, okay, we are trying to simplify this. Okay. We want to remove this square root sign, okay, and simplify, because general solution we are writing as phi of x comma y comma c. Okay, so square root x, x raised to 3 by 2, so such terms will not be there in general solution. Okay, so we try to simplify. So we are multiplying by 3, so it is 3 into y minus c equal to, and take 2, 2 is common, so 2 square root x into x minus, now we are taking 1 upon 3 common, or we are multiplying by 3, so this is 3a. Okay, so 2 is outside. Now we can square and get required relation, squaring. So what we get? 9 y minus c square equal to 4. This is x into x minus 3a square, and general solution, this is general solution, and we may write phi of xyc equal to 9 y minus c square minus 4x into x minus 3a square. Okay, therefore phi of xyc equal to 0 is general solution. Now let us find p discriminant and c discriminant relations of this differential equation. Okay, so first thing is p discriminant. Before that, we can call given differential equation as equation 1. Okay, so this is 1, then this general solution phi of xy is equal to 0 means this one, this as 2. Now p discriminant. We know that for p discriminant we differentiate given differential equation with respect to p, and then eliminate p between the newly obtained equation and original differential equation. Okay, so differentiating one, that is given differential equation with respect to p. So what we get, given differential equation is xp square minus x minus a square equal to 0. Now differentiating this with respect to p. So first term is xp square, differentiation will be 2 times xp. Then second term does not contain p, so this equation will be 2 times xp equal to 0. That means p equal to 0. Okay, we get 2 times xp equal to 0, which implies p equal to 0. Okay, now we substitute this in 1. Substituting in 1, we get, so if we put p equal to 0 in 1, we get x minus a square equal to 0. That means x equal to a. We get x minus a equal to 0. Okay, we call this as 3. This is p discriminant relation. Now we find c discriminant relation. Okay, for c discriminant, we have to differentiate the general solution to with respect to c. Okay, so it will be 18 into y minus c, and this right hand side doesn't contain c, so the equation is 18 y minus c equal to 0. That means we have y minus c equal to 0, and if we substitute in 2, that means in 2 if we substitute y minus c equal to 0, then this left hand side is 0, and that will be same as 4x into x minus 3a square equal to 0. That means we get two things. First is x equal to 0, and second is x minus 3a equal to 0. Okay, so let us see c discriminant. So differentiating general solution to with respect to c, we get 18 into y minus c equal to 0. This means y minus c equal to 0, and we substitute this in 2. Substituting in 2, we get so 2 is 4x into x minus 3a square equal to 0. That means x equal to 0 and x minus 3a equal to 0. Okay, so these are c discriminant relations. Okay, now note that p discriminant relation is x equal to x minus a equal to 0. That means x equal to a, it is straight line which is vertical line which is parallel to y-axis. Similarly, x equal to 0 is nothing but y-axis, and x minus 3a equal to 0 is also a vertical line. Okay, if we consider these curves, then we can see that these are not solutions to given differential equations. Okay, so y is absent there, and if we differentiate these things with respect to x, then for first case, if we differentiate with respect to x, then we get absurd thing. That means left hand side is simply 1. Okay, so we will not get any curve which is solution to given differential equation. Okay, so here we have p discriminant and c discriminant relations which are not solutions. Okay, so p discriminant, here p and c discriminant relations are not solutions to given DE. Okay, so p discriminant relation, that is x equal to a, doesn't appear in c discriminant relation, and vice versa. Okay, so these are not solutions. Now it is interesting to see that the p discriminant relation, that is x equal to a, is a tag locus. It will form tag locus, and the c discriminant relation x equal to 3a form nodal locus. Okay, for this we have to sketch the solution curves. Okay, so the solution is, general solution is 2, that is 9 into I minus c square equal to 4x into x minus 3a square. Okay, to sketch this we can take particular value for a. Okay, for example a equal to 1 is simple. Okay, and we can sketch these curves. Okay, so I will use Mathematica software and sketch this. Okay, so in fact Mathematica is able to solve such differential equations. Okay, so the differential equations with degree greater than 1. Okay, so our equation is x into p square minus x minus a square equal to 0. Here we take a equal to 1. Okay, of course we can have any other values. So the solution is like this, plus or minus. Okay, so y equal to plus or minus 2 by 3 into x minus 3 into square root x plus arbitrary constant c. Okay, so if we put c equal to 0 and sketch these curves, then we have this solution curve. Okay, one part is given by plus 2 by 3 into x minus 3 square root x, another is with the minus sign. Okay, so we can see that there is a double point or node here. Okay, now let us solve this for different values of c. Okay, so Mathematica thing, that is manipulate, is very useful in analyzing such things. So what we do, we can have this graphical user interface where we sketch this solution curve for different values of c. Okay, so we have taken values c from minus 5 to plus 5. Okay, so if we drag this, then we can have this curve. Okay, so if we change c, the properties are same, that means node is always there, but position of the curve will change. Okay, and this is at x equal to 3. We know that here we have taken a equal to 1, so the node is always at the curve x equal to 3a. Okay, and if we take a equal to 1, then x equal to a will be x equal to 1. So this vertical line is also important. Okay, let us see. Now we sketch different curves at a time. Okay, so see this one. So here we have taken two different values of c. Okay, so one value of c is 0, another value is, so let us take another value. We can see that if value of c is minus 2.69, then these curves touch each other. Okay, so this point is important. Okay, so this collection of the these points form tag locus. Okay, so these two curves touch at this point. If we take two different values of c, then of course any value on vertical line, that is x equal to a is 1 here. So if we consider vertical line that is x equal to 1, then at each such point we always have two curves, two solution curves with different values of c which touch each other. Okay, so that means the vertical line x equal to 1 will form tach locus, and the line x equal to 3 form nodal locus, because at each point we will have a solution curve with node at this point. Okay, so we can always have this thing. Okay, so in fact we can sketch several curves at a time. So this is a nice example where we consider this solution curve with c equal to 0. Now what happens if we change c? We get such curves. Okay, so at every point on the curve x equal to 1, we have two curves which are touching each other. Similarly, if we consider the vertical line x equal to 3, then we always have two curves. We can always have a curve with node on this point. Okay, let us consider this curve. Okay, we use this figure. So the line, vertical line, passing through point 1. Okay, so this will be tach locus, and the line passing through x equal to the line x equal to 3 form nodal locus. Okay, this is the example where we can find both the loci. In the next lecture, we discuss cuspidal locus with examples. Thank you.